Good afternoon. Today is the 26th of October and here we are back at Lockheath Shopping Centre for the bi-monthly Lockheath Classic Car Club event. I do apologise in advance if I fall over, if I get things wrong, which has happened today at Port Solent several times. This is a terrible video generally, and if there's wind noise, I'm afraid just the way that it goes on this channel. So very busy event today. A lot of these cars have also been at Port Solent, so you might see some repetition. Start off with this Austin Healey 3000 Mark II, which has the fixed roof on it at the moment. It's probably a good idea considering we're sort of heading towards the end of autumn now, so that'd probably be a good idea. Something I did see at Port Solent is this thing, this silver Jester, which I've never seen one of these before. I've no idea really much about them. This it's based on 1981 Mark I Fiesta, so facelift Mark I, which is not a huge amount of facelift. We'll see there's a Mark I Fiesta just there, in fact. But there we go. It doesn't look really anything like one. It's got quite a few components off them. You can see obviously the dash binnacle and the stalks and everything like that. It's definitely off a Mark I Fiesta. Even the seatbelts are. But there we go. That's a way to make your Mark I Fiesta look a little bit different. Next, we've got this Cobra replica. Obviously, most of the Cobras you'll see are replicas. The real ones are worth, six-figure sums, so they probably don't come out to events like this. Don't know what year that would be. Maybe sort of early 2000s. I'm not sure. And there we have something very special, viewers. This AC Ace, which was a very limited production car back in the 1990s. You see the information sheet here. This is a 1995. It's Brooklyn's Ace, made 94 to 96 only. This has a very nice 4.9 litre V8 with a 4-speed automatic. Importantly though, apart from these door handles, I think are off something like a Mark IV Escort or something, aren't they? It is dark green with a beige leather interior and wood, so it meets with my approval. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. Obviously we feel nice and comfortable with something like that, wouldn't we? Anyway, we've got this Beetle here. Ooh, another Alvis. Gosh, there is an Alvis here already. Well, I'll look at that in a second when I get run over. Don't know what year that would be. About 1960, something like that. Not sure. Anyway, something I'm sure about is this car, because I drove it last year. This is a 1993 Mazda 121 with a very special, I think it was a dealer fit front bumper. This car was supplied by the local Mazda dealer at the time to this area, Hiltonbury Mazda and Chandler's Ford, and it remained actually in Eastleigh, which is sort of a lot wider area around Chandler's Ford, as far as we know, until 2024. Jim, who has some other cars here today, bought it. I actually found it for him. It was so local to where we live that my lady and I found it on a walk. I really like this car. Most of them in this country were GLXs, all with a 1.3 engine, and this one's got the canvas roof as well. Cool, viewers, a Mark II facelift Ford Granada. We like these very much. That looks like a gear. Very, very nice. Tend to fit, really these days, different wheels. So you can fit, say, Mark III Scorpio Cosworth wheels, something like that, to them. This one is an 82 or 83. I think he's actually leaving. We're in a little bit of trouble here, aren't we? Let me just move out of the way whilst we kind of see what's going to happen with this gentleman in the Tesla. Yeah, not just any Granada, it's 2.8 non-injection Gear X. That is very, very tasty indeed. We like that sort of thing very, very much. It's on a carb with the Cologne V6 engine. There we are, viewers, some expert reversing there. Tasty. I drove one of these as an estate years ago. It's also a 2.8 non-injection Gear X. Same registration year, on a Y, owned by Mr. Colm, rubbish mechanic, who is a Mark I and Mark II Granada expert, and they are They're just amazing. They're incredible cars. Probably the best car Ford have ever made. Next we'll go to something a bit more expensive. This Bentley, I think this is something like a 4 1/4, which would be from the 30s. Lovely, lovely car. I think this is the inspiration for the car that James Bond drives in the Casino Royale novel from 1953. I think it's something like this. Next you've got another co-replica. See, it's not from the late 60s, it's from, I don't know, the 2000s perhaps. Again, very nice condition. Very nice indeed. We like that sort of thing, viewers. Next we've got an MGC, second one for today, because also we saw one down at Portsmouth, didn't we? This has got the knockoff wheels on it. Again on a G6869. The Aston Martin is here again. The DBX isn't here, but this one is, and it's very, very nice, viewers. It's always a pleasure to see something like this because we like this sort of thing very much. Even if it's very new, we still like it, don't we? First of many minis that are here. Mini sidewalk from the it'll be from the early 90s. This, I think, could be wrong. Yes, definitely, because it's a 91, 92 plate, and you can't put a plate that's newer than the car on it. So that would be something like that. Right, next you've got this Austin 7 from, I think it's 1934. I'm always delighted to see cars of this sort of age kind of around and being driven because that's what they're meant to be, as opposed to sitting in a museum. Another R129 Mercedes-Benz SL. In fact, the same one that was at Port Said this morning. Take another look at it, because why not? More beige leather interior action, more wood, more dark blue metallic paint, and more absolute utter delight. Tasty treats, viewers. I mean, when we got this, I can't even remember what this is now. I think I've been told, but I honestly don't remember. It's kind of homemade. I have no idea, viewers. Somebody in the comments section, look that registration number up and let me know. And next you've got a Bugatti, because of course we have. Of course there's a Bugatti here. Why wouldn't there be? Plastic is from 1934. I don't know if that relates to the age of the car. Be careful not to actually touch this. What's that worth? I no idea. I go to the NEC and there's always a display of Bugattis there, like really old ones like this, but I wouldn't know. Something I'm more sure of is there was one of these cars in the Doctor Who film in 1966, Dalek Invasion Earth, 2150 AD, when this van would have been over 150 years old and it still worked. Or one of them like this. It was a bit tattier than this particular Morris J type here. But yes, there we go. The later ones had different engines in them. I think the original ones had side valve engines in them. And then we've got, gosh, another really old thing, pre-war Alvis. Again, something I don't really know anything about. I'm not an expert on any pre-war cars, really. I know nothing about them whatsoever. So we will continue, and hopefully you won't notice my ignorance. Wow, look at this. 79 to 80 Mark 1 Fiesta 1.1L. The specification that the majority of these would have come in something like this. The Mark 1 gear I drove last year, that also sometimes comes to Lockheath, was a little bit different from this. It was a very late one, 1983, and they have different engines. This has just got nothing. There's no head restraints in it. We've got a rear wiper though. It's not like a Popular or something like that. Those are even more basic, but extraordinary. I mean, a lot of you will just be delighted to see something like this. I certainly am, because my uncle used to have one back in the day, in the early 90s. A bit tatty. Belonged to my other uncle, actually, originally, but he had it. It was a gold with black wing. It was a 1.1L just like that. And then a 1923 AC Empire Coupe, a car that is, how do I put this, 102 years old. So, yeah, we've got all variety here today, haven't we? Next, you've got an Austin A30 van. It's owned by a gentleman by the name of Ian, I think it's 56, this one. And it's very nice. Actually, there's another one here. I think this is an A35, actually. This actually lives locally to where we are in Eastleigh, so I see it all the time. The gentleman also has an A40 Farino. It also comes here. So, that's good. So we have an A30 and an A35. They're very difficult to tell apart, actually, the vans. The saloons are a bit easier because the rear window's different. Oh gosh, viewers. Oh my gosh. Simca Arande Plein Ciel Coupé. Ooh, now this is a beautiful car. I've seen this before, actually. I think it's about 1961. It's something like that. It is absolutely delightful. Also delightful is this Hayabusa engine thing here. A completely bonkers car. I mean, that is going to go very, very, very quickly. Probably not the sort of thing that I would use myself on a daily basis. And then next we've got this Alvis T21. It's owned by a gentleman named Phil. Now he has offered me a go in this at some point. But the problem is I just don't know if I can get insurance for this. It's just one of these cars that, you're trying to find like an hour's temporary cover for this would not be like trying to find it for a Mark 7 Fiesta, shall we say. But it's very, very, very nice indeed. Expensive luxury car for the time, back in '64. And then a Mark 1 Lotus Cortina. It's a little bit earlier than that, maybe 63 something, because not all registration areas use suffix plates like that until 1965. So this is a autumn 64 car, May 63 taxi, so I imagine it's about 63. That's good. We kind of like that, viewers. We do like it. Quite expensive these days. R53 Mini Cooper S. These are very, very good fun to drive. I drove one of these a few years ago. It's almost identical to this, in really nice condition as well. It is. It's pretty good. Then this 504 Cabrio. There's actually a 505 here as well. We'll come back to that. This is 78. This was a individual conversion done by a garage, because the official ones, the right-hand drive, were converted by Hodek between 1971 and 1973. I drove one last year, actually. Unfortunately, that car, I'm not sure it's back on the road yet. I had a fire last year after I drove it, which wasn't to do with me. And so it's being restored at the moment, or has been. I'll have to ask Jim, who owns it, actually, whether that's ready to go. The chap who owns this never has put the hood on, so he's very brave. He's a braver man than me. Then we've got this little Fiat 500. It's got the doors the conventional way round, so it's a later one of these. The earlier ones have the doors like suicide doors. It's out of the way of the AC before it actually runs me over. I almost got run over twice at Port Said this morning. It's not so good. So we'll just go this way actually before we get run over by something else. It's 500L, I think these things are. It still says Weather Cinquecento on it. So what is that, a 67 or 68 on an F. And we got a stag. We've seen some stags today, have some more. Why not? This one is quite a late one actually, definitely a Mark II automatic. It's on a P plate, so 75, 76. Oh, sorry. There we go. There's always the possibility of doing things wrong, like crashing into one of the marshals. Mini Sprite is a Jersey registered example. This one is actually different from that Sprite there. It's about the same sort of era. Both have got different wheels on them. So about 1994, I think. Then this very early Mayfair, it's identical to one that was owned by one of my mother's friends when I was at prep school. 82, 83 on a Y in black. It's almost the same as the one she had. I think it was a 1984 one she had on either A or B. It was identical to this, of this colour. Next you've got a Mini 1000, 72, 73 on an L. With some Mini Cooper seats at the front. And that interior colour is called Lime Flower because I do know some BL interior colours, and that's one of them I know. Here's the other Sprite, registered actually just down the road from here in Fareham. Originally in 95, 96 on an N. Then we've got a Sunbeam Alpine from 1965, but also a Tiger around here somewhere, I think, as well. This will be the 7025, so it's the last series of these. I always want to have a go in one of these for some reason. Maybe because I like Dr. No, and I like the Sunbeam Alpine and Dr. No. That's probably why. Then we have a Lotus Elan Plus 2. This is the 135 model. Does that refer to the engine brake horsepower output and the 5-speed gearbox? Possibly. So these were made, I think, until about 73, 74. A bit different from the standard Elans. Next we've got another one of these custom things. I really like this because things body paint Stevie Wonder mechanics for Chuckle Brothers. I'm not going to sing a Chuckle Vision theme song views because there's not much to say about that. Anyway, so we've got a Morris Mini Mark II, late one, 68-69 on a G. This is of the 1275cc engine conversion, which originally would have had, I don't know, something smaller, probably a 998cc, probably. Then we have a Healy 3000. I think this will be an original version as opposed to a Mark II and Mark III. Very nice. But I personally prefer this XR3, early XR3, 81, 82 registration. Been lower a little bit. One of these days I would like to have a go in one of these XR3s. It'd be good. I've only ever driven an 85 1.3L Mark III, which is a bit different from that. It's a little bit slower and more basic. More Granada action views because we can't get enough of things like that, can we? And then a Lotus Elise Series 2, I think this is.
Oh, yeah.
We got any sort of Mark III Cavalier bits?
Just looked at no.
Yes, we still got Mark III Cavalier bits in here because why not? I've also got these mirrors off of Rover 100 because why not? Excellent. This is probably worth a bit more than a Rover 100 though, isn't it? This is the Elise 250 Carp. Don't know what year that would be. So we'll start on the next section. We'll go with this 911. This was at Port Salad this morning, of course, 68-69 in a G. I have driven a 911, but I only ever one. It was a 996 from 2000, I drove 2022. Then another car from Port Salad. There's this NA. And then here is the Sunbeam Tiger I was telling you about. The most unfortunate thing about Tiger was that not that it wasn't a great car or anything, is that the engine was supplied by Ford. It's a 302 cubic inch V8. And by 1966, when this car was registered, Chrysler had started buying up shares in Roots and also Simca. And so they didn't really like the fact that they had to buy the engines from Ford. So production kind of finished quite soon after that. 1929 car, this one. Not the oldest, but one of the oldest that's here today. That looks like a Ford Model A, but I could be wrong. Something rather valuable here. This is a Jaguar XK120. Goodness gracious me. I don't know what that's worth, but it's probably quite a lot of money. We've got another one of these 30s cars, which I think is an Austin 10 from the 30s. Then we've got an MGZA magnet. This will be before they enlarged the rear window for the ZB, because it's got the small rear window, so it's a ZA. Be about 1955, something like that, somewhere around there. And then another car I've driven actually on the channel was this 1997 Jaguar XK8 Coupe, which was very nice, although I did feel I might get in trouble with the Hampshire Constabulary when driving it because it was very, very, very fast. So we've got the Sunny as well. Bramwell's still in here. He's not enjoying the fact we've got a Duke next to him, so he's turned away now. He'll have to wait for me to take him away in his moment of displeasure because he likes the Sunny as opposed to the Duke. Most people tend to do that. Same year as the Sunny is this 8990 TVR S2 with the Mark IV Escort rear lights and the beige leather interior. Very nice views and piping and wood. Something I haven't actually seen before, I don't think, is this Volkswagen bay window from sort of 68, 69 on a G. It looks quite nice. It's about a reasonable price for a bay window these days. I don't know. Personally, I prefer this 1984-85 Capri 2.8 injection. It was at Port Solent this morning, along with all sorts of other things. It was really rammed here. It's really rammed here today, and it was rammed there too. It's been a crazy day. So also got this Bedford coach. This is actually a 68, this coach. It was used by the Navy and not registered in the UK until 1977. Back in the day, that's what used to happen with cars from abroad. I think it was used in like Malta or something originally, this thing. It says on the information sheet, which I've neglected to read today. And so before about 1982, if you imported a car or van, minibus personally into this country, you wouldn't just get the date it was made, you get the date it was imported on the plate. So hence the 77 plate on this 68 coach. It's very nice in there. I don't really know if I bought that, exactly what I do with it, but there we go. We've got this ancient sticker in there from May 38 commercial sales, whenever that was done. So you've got this information sheet just here. There we go, it's a 68. Yeah, it was a Royal Navy, so it's registered in 1977 by Kingsbridge Council in Devon. Oh, viewers, a lovely, lovely Celica. Oh gosh, no, ooh. That's not a nice thing to see there. We'll just point the camera away to prevent heartbreak. I've actually got one of these coming from the channel soon. It's a very late product generation Celica convertible GT model. I've literally just been offered one today, so hopefully we'll get around to that at some point. Next you've got this 1915 Model T. It could be a 14 or a 15. I don't know if Jimmy Mones is particularly aware of which one it is, but there we go. I got offered this to review views, but I am not going to do it because I do not want to die in a Model T whilst not being able to control it properly. So yeah, here's the Aronde Plein Ciel, 1958. It is just the most attractive little car, probably that's even here. That is such a lovely looking car. Oh my gosh, it's not just a Jensen Interceptor, it's a Jensen Interceptor SP with special performance. So, big Chrysler V8 in this, built in West Bromwich. This is a 72-73 car. I don't know what these are worth now, actually. I'm not sure. They're probably worth a bit more than they were when we did one in the sort of mid-2000s. I don't know. They tend to have quite big problems with rust, though, like most cars of this age. Look at that huge air cleaner bit on the top there. So yeah, there we go. It's only 232 of those made. Now this is very, very special. It's a 505 GTI that's been modified with these ball bay wheels. I don't think I've seen a 505 of any type for a long time, let alone a GTI, or in this case a modified GTI. That's pretty special, viewers. We like that very much. There's a sight you're not likely to see most of the time. Little silver Jester. Anyway, let's go on to this Daimler here. Very late for one of these, V8 250 on a G, so 1968-69. Have a look at this biscuit interior. Very tasty, views. They're actually not worth that much, these. I think you could pick one of these up for, gosh, £7,000-8,000 if you really want to. I don't know why, that's odd, isn't it? Anyway, so got another Morris Minor here. There's one or two more here as well today, down there. I think I've seen this one actually. This one wasn't at Port Sutton this morning. Someone's put different seats in here and different wheels, so they've probably got better brakes. The gearbox looks still original, which having driven a couple of Morris Minors, I don't really like the gearbox because it's got no cigarette on first, so you have to drive it quite differently from most cars, especially with the unassisted drum brakes when it comes to standard. Mercedes-Benz E220 Coupe here, a C124 from 1994, which also was at Port Sutton this morning, along with this Escort Mark 1. Now it says Mexico on it, but I don't know if the Mexicos were out at sort of 68, 69. I'm not an expert on this, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. So maybe that is an homage or something, I don't know. Anyway, nice and quick. Also probably quick is this Elvis. I forget whether this is a TC, I think it's a TC21, this is from memory. The TETF21s have the sort of stacked headlamps, it's just got some normal ones. And then, another Morris Minor, this is a Tourer from 1965, with the correct steering wheel, I might add. I reckon we're going to see lots of these when we go to the NEC Classic Car Show next month. We're going to see many of these, and the many Shambolic shuffles we'll be doing there. About 23 parts or something. That's not an exaggeration, actually what it really is. So we've got a Corvette C3 here, Corvette Stingray. Try not to actually crash into anything here, viewers. Quite early actually, that for a generation. So 1968-69 a G. And a Triumph, I think this is a TR8 from memory, from what I've seen anyway. Yeah, this is a V8 engine one. Very late production one, would have been a 1981 only actually on an X. Next you've got a Rover P5. Isn't a P5B? It's just a P5 because it's actually a 3-litre one. So maybe a Mark III car. I don't know. It's got the wheels off a P5B. Next you've got this Porsche 911 Carrera, which is from about 1989. I think 89 only. I think because the 964 generation came in this year, so it would be an 89 on a G only. And then another Aston Martin, because of course they're going to be here. Striking colour. I prefer the green one personally, but that's also nice. And then a 1980 MGB GT, original specification with the rubber bumpers on it and the correct wheels for this time, which is good. Personally, being a Volvo Owners Club member, I prefer this 172 164. Very nice views with the 6-cylinder engine and all sorts of exciting things over the 144. Not those are bad cars, just this is better. A product of superb Swedish engineering, yes indeed. You've got a little moose friend in the back who looks like he is also sampling superior Swedish engineering. Next we'll go with this Austin Westminster. Again, I was at Port Solent this morning. I'm not sure I filmed it actually or not. And so is this A55 Mark II Cambridge. That was there this morning too. This is Westminster. Mr. Westy, very sort of popular cars with banger racing things back in the day. Obviously not really now, you don't see too many of them raced anymore. And then this 1992-93 TVR Griffith, complete with cream leather interior and wooden steering wheel, which is most agreeable. Also agreeable, although a bit low spec for someone like me, is this Citroen AX debut. These had the 1-litre TU engine, 94-95 on an M. This looks like it's in immaculate condition. When was the last time we saw an AX? Regardless of specification like this. I mean, I need a higher spec personally because that's what I am, but that's very good, we like that. Next we've got the Cavalier Mark III GSI 2000 we saw earlier on at Port Solent because we really like this. I forget the name of the chap who owns it now, but yes please. Let this TVR go first. There we go. We'll get in the way there, viewers. Excellent. Then we've got the Morris Minor police car. This is also here, so is that 3 Morris Minors that are here? Yes, it's 3 Morris Minors that are here. So I've missed one. Super gearbox and marina brakes. Then we got the 1964 Citroen DS19 that I drove actually last year. It was a bit challenging to drive. They're not the easiest cars to drive these at all. The indicators are difficult, the clutch is difficult, the brakes are a button on the floor, gear lever is on the column. It requires an awful lot of brain power to actually drive one of these with the manual gearbox. For semi-autos, it's a bit easier. So sorry, that's 4 Morris Minors then, because this one was actually down at Port Solent as well this morning. Trafalgar Blue 2-door, 68-69 on a G. The Minor I drove in 2022 was also a Trafalgar Blue 68-69 2-door. So yeah. Then we've got this US Air Force Jeep, which is not the most common thing really. The highest number of them you see are the Army Willis Jeeps. This was an Air Force one, which makes it a little bit different. Anyway, I think that's it for today. Gosh, we've had a quite a timed today, viewers. We've actually had 3 Shambolic shuffles in 2 completely different places. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for some more incorrect information.